Good morning and welcome to episode 215 of Coffee with Mr. Green. Today I'm very excited. It's a special episode. I have a wonderful guest. His name is Kevin Dailey. He is the 2024 Kentucky Teacher of the Year, visiting our classroom on the YouTube series. I want to give you a huge thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's really great to be here in Newport.
Awesome. We got it right that time. So here is what we're going to talk about today. I led with a bell ringer. We're always talking about being able to identify how we feel. If we can identify the feelings that we're having and name those feelings, then we are able to get through moments. Okay, if it's happy because the Bengals went to the Super Bowl and we're celebrating, then we can own that, celebrate it, live in it, and make that memory in our life as fuller. If it is being sad, we need to understand why we're being sad and sort of ways to get out of that. So as an educator, as a human, what are your thoughts on identifying and kind of working around feelings?
Yeah, this is a huge part of my life because I teach middle school, and middle school is feelings. That's like the whole thing. So one of the things that I work with every day is trying to get my students to understand where they are and how that affects their interactions with other people. To do that, I kind of have to do that for myself too, because you have to model that behavior. And really, that's every adult does that to some degree. And I think the people that we look up to, or that I look up to, are the ones who are able to do that really effectively. So if they're having a bad day, they're not taking it out on everybody because they're having a bad day, but they're not necessarily like faking a smile through everything. They're being authentic and real, but they're understanding that their feelings can't come out as an attack on someone else.
Yeah, I love the word you just used, authentic feelings, right? And so we want to make sure that when we're having these feelings, they are real. We're not hiding behind feelings or deflecting things onto people, right? We're in the feeling and we deal with that. What are your thoughts? Something that just came up while you're speaking. Have you seen a change sort of in society with people being able to name and process feelings?
Yeah, it's really strange growing up, kind of like the millennial grow up story, where when I was younger, there was really no outlet to get your feelings out there in like a comfortable way. I think my students are much more comfortable naming their feelings, but I don't know if they're as equipped to deal with those without really thinking about it. And that could just also be middle school. But I think one of the big components of that is not just naming and identifying your feelings, but knowing the strategies and how to deal with those feelings and how to manage them.
Speaking of strategies, what's something while you're teaching, you're in the classroom, you're doing your magic, as you like to call it. What's one thing, if something sort of goes a little bit haywire, what's one way, a strategy that our viewers and our students can use to kind of deal with?
So this isn't something I've always known about. My school does a social and emotional learning class, and I actually learned this by teaching social and emotional learning, and I kind of like applied it to myself unexpectedly. But our school counselor always uses the example of like social and emotional learning is important not just for like a classroom or a test or anything. Like imagine you're at the free throw line. The game is on the line. You have to make the shot. There's cheering going on. There's heckling. How do you center yourself to where you're calm enough to take that shot? And so for me, I'm like not an athlete. So for me, that's how in the moment, while I'm in front of a classroom and things just aren't going the way that I need them to go, how do I handle it? I don't always have time to do 5 minutes of meditation or a coloring page or something else. It is a good strategy for different contexts. So for me, it's like a really big exhale, like inhale of a breath, and then I just kind of hold it there and I let like 5 seconds or so. And what I've noticed over the years is that my students actually notice when I do that and they know what that means. So rather than me just being reactive, or rather than me having to say, hey y'all, stop, or this is not going the way it should go, or whatever the case is, they know that that's like a nonverbal cue of, I can see that he's agitated, or I can see that something's not going right, and then they know how to respond to
And it helps you because it physically gets your oxygen levels to a good spot. So the last thing I want to leave everybody with, Mr. Dailey, Teacher of the Year, just kind of talk about what that has meant since, was it September? Since September, well, how has that affected your life, and what is your vision as being named Teacher of the Year?
So it's incredibly, like, there's a lot of pressure, and it's a huge honor, and there's a huge responsibility. Some people will say, like, you're speaking for all of the educators in Kentucky, and that's like an impossible thing to do. So I try to look at it as I'm kind of a megaphone. And so my goal is to celebrate teachers from all across the state. That's one of the reasons why I'm here, is because I'm just taking names of teachers who have a classroom where kids want to be. I know countless teachers that understand strategies and behavior management and all of the like sciencey things of being a teacher. But there are also those teachers who have the art. And that's why I'm here with you, Mr. Green, is because I've been told that this is a place where people want to be, and I want to learn more about that. And I want the people in your community to know that you exist here, and all of the tireless effort that you put in to your students and to your profession and to them as community members. So.
Well, I appreciate that. So let's focus on our feelings, work on those strategies, and celebrate one another. And as always, like and subscribe, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and let's keep on learning.